Okay, this is a piece. I'm trying a new angle, by the way. This is a piece of raw Coastal Plains chert. I have made 2 Bolen so far, Bolen bevel points, out of this material. And this is the 3rd one that I'm going to make. There's another preform, I think, right here. Oh yeah, this is the last one that I was working on. I'm kind of working on 2, so maybe I'll make 4. But I want to make a little set of them. And I've just been working on these preforms a little bit and then coming back to them. That allows me to be a little bit more, I don't know, take my time. Raw material, gotta grind it. It's a nice little arrow point flake. I'm not sure what kind of arrow points they were making in like Florida and stuff like that. A lot of gar scales and all kinds of other natural woods that they were using for arrow points. I also think that that area, that terrain, is really might be pretty hard to keep your tools if you have like antler tools. Keep them dry, because even if it's really humid outside, they can get kind of damp, I would assume. I don't know though. I live in California, so it's all mostly dry out here. This piece is pretty. It's got some little red. Oh, you're over there. These little red inclusions and stuff. But this stuff doesn't work. It's not that hard to work raw. It's tough, but it's not like super tough. I haven't had that many problems trying to work it. The first Bolen I made turned out really nicely. The second one, I was trying to do the notches very similar to the first one, and then what happened was one of the notches blew out because my punch twisted a little bit, so I got rid of one of the ears a little bit, so I had to make them larger, and some of the Bolens are like that. But there's quite a bit of variability variation between the styles of them. I was looking at some pictures and I'm like, oh no, I didn't make it right. But then I'm like, well, it looks like that one in that picture, so there's different variation. I'm being really aggressive with these flakes because I'm not going to take any chances. That one wasn't really releasing, but I just kept hitting it really hard and holding it at a high angle. Doing lots of little edge work with the hammerstone. Blend that in right there. This area up here is all twisted and kind of tough. I'm going to bring you a little bit closer. That helps. It's not twisted, it's just kind of thick and I have to get rid of it. You can tell that the chert up here is a little bit better quality up towards the tip. Lots of little edge work. I hope this angle turns out well. It'd be nice. I was trying to use my front-facing camera. It's easier because it's got a viewfinder. Basically, I can see what I'm doing, but also the camera quality doesn't turn out as nice, I think, because it doesn't focus as well. It doesn't adjust to the light as well, I think, as a front face as a regular camera does on iPhone. That's what I was hoping wouldn't happen, but it's such an early stage, it doesn't really matter. But this is rounded in here. This is all rounded right here. I can't really get in there that well. So I have to come up this way, but there's a nice, somewhat of a platform right here. Kind of low, kind of thin, but it should work. I could probably hit it with the hammerstone, but I think I'm gonna hit it with this guy. Nice. Like I said, these kind of womping on this thing. Now that I remove that flake, it'll help me get into that. See that? That little area, that problem area is gone. Geez, filming myself is hard, because I'm always working them like all over the place. I could try to go take a flake that way, but it's not ready yet to do that. Didn't mean for that last flake to come out like that. Just trying to build some contour. No, that's not good. Beautiful. Coming from a little bit above center line. Another little blending flake. That flaking's looking pretty good right there. Take small ones like that. I gotta focus on the base. This one should be interesting. Nice. Just trying to thin that base down. Cut a little bit into the contours of the side of the blade edge, but that's okay because just come with the hammerstone and blend it in a little bit. It also leaves me with the nice high spot over here to go that way. And this edge needs to be turned. Some flakes need to be taken down this way. Turn that edge down low. It's not that crisp. It's not that straight across. Take little flakes down that way, and then one right there. And one above that hinge there. That is, looks okay. I'm a little nervous to strike that one with the billet because it's a little bit rounded, but there's a nice ridge here. Maybe I'll do it with the hammerstone. Ah, that was awesome. That was kind of an isolated platform. That was really nice. Getting this thing thinned down pretty fast. Got to get it pretty thin to get those notches. Fortunately, a lot of them have that. See, there's that kind of weird stuff in there. Reddish. I'm sure if you were to heat treat this, that red material would pop and be pretty. Here's another little hammerstone area. Might be able to get a flake to go down that way. Beautiful. I don't really need to use the piece of elk on this. Uh-oh. Didn't hinge really, it just kind of got stuck. I'm gonna punch this. Punch it right in the base. If I can find my little punch. I found one of them. Where'd it go? There it is. This is the better one. And then the actual punching piece right here, piece of wood. It's actually really light. Piece of, what is it? It's root from an oak, it's oak tree root. I need to fold this up, otherwise I'm gonna hurt myself. But you can see the reason why I'm punching this base is because I don't want to strike on that with the hammerstone because it's at the end of it. But it's not the best platform to try and punch because it's all rounded. So I think my punch is a little bit moist. Okay, I need to stop saying moist. Damp. Jeez. Oh my gosh. It looks like it's gonna go. I think my punch is just a little bit damp. It's been outside. It's been kind of wet and rainy around here. This material is really pretty. I love Flint River. I'm just gonna gotta be careful about the shape of the base because they're not really constricted that much. Just a little bit. I can punch that, but I'm gonna hit it with the hammerstone. Beautiful. So that came in right there. It'll come out later. So now the base is roughly defined. I want to maintain that somewhat of a heavy body on it. Early archaic points, nice and thick and balanced. Actually, blades too. I'm gonna take one up here at the tip. Kind of crushed. If you're flint knapping and someone said, "Dude, you're crushing it," it's not a good sign. Not a compliment. I just crushed it again. There we go. I'm gonna punch that because it's a little bit crusty. Or not crusty, but it's a little bit thin right here. Nice. I'm just gonna take one down from the tip because that's the only area that I have where there's some thickness. Nice. Beautiful. I'm also going to punch that. That's a little bit of a heavy platform. I could probably strike it with the hammerstone and get a nice flake. But I don't know, maybe we'll do it. Because there's a possibility that it could go in there and hinge. Strike it in the right spot, right there. Oh, it was perfect. Had I punched it, it probably would not have gone as far. Actually, I know it wouldn't have gone as far. The most fun part about making these Bolens is doing the what's it called work, beveling. There's another one. That one was kind of deep on the edge there. Left a little Aurelier flake. Blend this delta. So I took some flakes this way, then like that. There's some thickness in here. But luckily this edge is I'm gonna take some small flakes down this way. A little bit of a problematic area right there because there's this little nub right there, and then there's more on that side. Not worried that it will be on the finished point, but for now, using this hammerstone and trying to get in there like that. Got right through it. That flake came off right there. I'm gonna punch that. Could probably do it with the hammerstone, but I want to be a little bit safe. Nice. Nice. A steep one. Maybe not. I'll do that with the hammerstone. Cool, it's looking really good. Not much more to go until I start working on pressure flaking and getting base nice and thin. Nice little blending flake there. This nice edge here where there's a lot of contour and convexity, so I shouldn't worry too much about taking these guys. Nice. Uh-oh, crushed. There was a bit of a problem area in there, so what I had to do is turn the edge kind of higher than I would instead of that. I think most of this is mostly just going to be tackled now with punch work. I could continue it further with a little bit of hammerstone, but I'll still use the hammerstone to do like edge turning and setting up platforms. Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I don't want to be too aggressive on the base here, so I'm hitting these little teeny platforms. Also, don't want to get any stacks or hinges because it might impede my ability to punch notch it. Where did my punch go? It fell on the ground. There it is. We'll have to punch out that little area right there. This edge isn't turned the best, but got it out. Gonna blend that right in right there. Hopefully get another one that is very similar to the last one. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Punch through some of that red stuff there. Our wind chime we've had for a long time, like 10 years or more. And I don't really like the wind. So whenever I hear it, I think of it just kind of annoys me because then I think of wind. I associate it with the wind. And now there's a State Farm commercial that has the our same wind chime. And every time I hear the commercial, I'm like, I don't want your insurance. This edge is a little bit weird. I might pressure flake that. Because it's not turned to the best of its ability. Where's my... Okay, it's right here. Oh, reach. Got a little bit wet, so there's some little flakes still stuck to it, but they shouldn't cut me. This is the outer bone or antler of an elk beam on raw Florida chert or Georgia chert. So I don't know if it's historically accurate, but what can you do besides do it historically accurately? I don't know what they would have used in that area, just some sort of deer. All kinds of stuff though. So I just turned that edge better because I want to blend this area over here. A little flake in my sock or my shoe. Oh, they all just went down in there. That's great. And all these little hanging off pieces, I'll just grind them down a little bit, create a more consistent edge. Then I'll punch it. strategically place my punch. Nice. Nice. Got rid of that. Got rid of that little crusty spot that had a lot of stacks. There's a low spot right here, high spot, so I'll skip over the low spot kind of. Or I could just turn my angle steeper instead of trying to go into a low spot like that. Nice. That one came out a little bit steep, kind of low. I'll just blend it over here because I have more thickness over here. Starting to think about the tip a little bit. The tip should be in line before too long here. These Bolens are all going to be a little bit different. I had previously taken the other one, the first one that I made is the best one, and I'd taken that one out to try and match the base correctly with the second one that I was making. But the second one, like I said, had some issues when it came out. So they're all going to be a little bit different. I'm just going to pressure flake that probably. There's some thickness right there. Maybe I'll punch it. Just turn my angle higher because I'm a little bit sketched out about doing that. So I dropped my hammerstone and I picked up a completely random hammerstone that was on the ground. Ooh, that felt like it hinged, but it didn't. It sounded like it did. Turn these flakes higher like this because I want to maintain that edge work. It's about the thickness that I want it. This one might end up being much wider than the other ones, but I still have beveling and everything to do, notching. So I shouldn't get too carried away on the blade. Need to focus on the base. This isn't as good as a hammerstone because it's got this kind of deep groove in it. So, gonna be a little bit careful down here. That wasn't that great. I don't want these to go that far in because it's kind of flat down here in the base, and if I try to punch it in too far, it's going to hinge right in the middle, and then I'll have a big old stack in the middle, and that won't be nice. And I need to get this base thin down. Remove that stack there. And I thought that one was going to go further. Okay. That is exactly what I want. Little crystal pocket right there. That little stack in there. Living in my biface rent-free, man. Gotta get him out. Kick him out. Gonna take kind of an aggressive flick right here. Beautiful. Pretty much got rid of that whole entire little stack area. This one's definitely like lanceolate looking right now. Once I start getting everything taken down. Beautiful. Thin down that base. Get it kind of rounded like they are. The rest I'll pressure flake because this base is looking pretty much good. And I don't want to try to press these too far inward, except for areas where I know it's really actually going to work, like that one. Sometimes you have those platforms that you're just not sure if they're going to work or not, but they look like they might, so you go for it, and then they didn't, and then they don't work. So this is all punch work for the most part. Now we're switching to pressure flaking. Well, actually mostly hammerstone. And then I want to bring the base in and everything before I do too much. Or I'm gonna do the notches pretty soon. But I'm gonna flatten this area out up here a little bit first. Because I need to bring the blade in. I don't want to bring it in too far. I want it to be maybe somewhat excavate. That was nice. getting a little bit carried away with the pressure flaking. I'll do one more here. Make sure they're kind of inward because I'm accidentally doing it a little bit to my left. Natural tendency as a left-handed person to pressure flake a little bit to that side. That's why sometimes on things that are pressure flaked, you can tell if the person was right-handed or left-handed. Okay, so I'm gonna straighten out this base. I got a notification on my phone that I'm running low battery, so gotta do the notches, and then if I have time, if my phone permits me, then I will do the whole entire point. Fortunately, I started this video as a preform, rough preform, but still preform, so you got to see hammerstone to punch work transition. This is one of those raw materials that just seems to work really well raw. It's not like raw Texas material where it can be grainy and also hard. Okay. Base looking pretty good. It's not completely in line with the balance. I'm gonna try to notch this with my memory. I think I have two punch notches right now. I'll just use one though. Actually, I only have. I think I only have one, and it's this really thin one right here. And I think first I'll pressure flake the notches just to get them started so that I don't create a lip for myself. So I think the notches would come in about right there. Fortunately, if you get stuck in one of these notches, some of the Bolens have really wide notches, like almost not even really notches, so if you get stuck in one, you can help yourself out and make it wider. Okay. I don't think this is the punch that I used on the last one, but it's a little thin, but it should work. Sometimes in between punches you take your other pressure flaker. Oh, that's too wide. Get in there and fix it up. I haven't punch notched in a long time, actually. Been at college doing college stuff. Ooh, see, that's dangerous when your punch twists like that. This isn't the best punch because it's twisting a little bit. Where's my little pressure flaker? I guess I could use this bone one right here. Actually, this might work really well. This is Pet Shop Bone. Yeah, it should work really well. I don't want to twist this punch. Gotta be careful with it. Beautiful, but we got a little undetached flake in there. Those can really screw you up. Maybe I can pop it out. Sometimes they don't affect you though. This one looks like it's pretty low. I should probably work on this notch a little bit, make sure that they're coming in at the same angle. After I do these, I might widen them a little bit. Uh-oh. It doesn't want to come out. Let's see what's wrong. This bone's pretty soft. I was going to use it to notch little arrow points, so I probably shouldn't be using it on this right here. Come on. Not sure why that's... I think I turned the angles too steep. Use the big boy. Oh man, that was a little aggressive. It took a large flake. It worked though. Want to make sure that it doesn't come out too steep, because then sometimes it's hard to turn the platform over, go the other way. Open it up a little bit. Oh, I heard an eagle. Did you hear that? Or a hawk, maybe? Caw-caw. That's too small. There it goes again. Your red-tailed hawk or something. That pressure flake was kind of aggressive, so it went in there and it created a little... Geez, that bird's going to town. Nice. Continue to open these notches as I go in, create space for myself. Took a little bit of an intermission on this notch because of that. Your undetached flake, not your flake, but just undetached. Sometimes that happens within your punch notching. Or at least it happens when I'm punch notching. That might be able to get it out. There it goes. There you go, we removed it. I think I could probably do most of this pressure flaking. Not that one. I don't have a pressure flaker that is thin enough to get in there though. I'll probably just keep punching it, but punching can be a little bit rough sometimes on something that doesn't need to be that deep. Before too long, I might actually, right now, I might sharpen this little antler a little bit and then just, or maybe I'll do it with this piece of bone if it's strong enough, but earlier it wasn't proving itself to be worthy. But I gotta get these notches nice and opening, get them nice and opened up. Well, I want to take this flake right here, but I don't want to break off that ear. Like I said, I'm flaking with this little piece of bone. It's kind of working. One notch is a little bit wider, it goes up a little bit higher than this one over here. But that edge, that area right in there, is a little bit sketchy. Starting to crush a little bit, so I don't want to push it any further. Sometimes the bases on these are really nice and rounded. the best Bolen. The notches are a little bit wonky, but I don't want to break it. I just want to have it in the collection of Bolens. The notches are a little bit different than the other ones, but they're all a little bit different, so what you gonna do? One of them's, the other two are a little bit more side notched. The bases are all pretty similar, except for one of them has, the base is much more towards the end. It's kind of hard to describe. I don't want that ear to be too sharp. Okay, there's the notches, little wonky. This is ideally what it would look like if it were unsharpened or it hadn't been used much. No bevel on it, but of course I got to put a little bit of a bevel on it. My phone might die, but you get the idea now. I mean, it's pretty much finished. And just select which side I want to bevel to. Beveling produces a really nice looking set of serrations depending on how small the tool that you're resharpening it with. The reason why that is because if it's beveled, you can get a really consistent edge, so any little small pressure flake will leave a small area where you pressure flaked in a nice little serration there. I'm just doing a little crusty spot right there. That's that crusty spot that was kind of screwing with me. And then I took a hammerstone flake, or a punch flake, I think, over it. Oh, I accidentally beveled these to the same side. How did I do that? How did I do that? How did I accidentally... That's funny. Okay, well then I'll have to just turn this down. I was thinking too much about just removing the excavate look. I'll make sure these don't hinge. See the serrations? They look natural. funny how modern nappers trying to get this beveled look. Back in the, we're beveling it over and over again. But back in the day, they were like, I need that. I need that edge. I'm only going to bevel it as much as I need to resharpen my knife. Continue to cut stuff. Sometimes it can be harder to get a nice tip on something that's beveled kind of thick. Roxy's super mad. The mailman is here. He's like, I'm out of here. Bad dog. That little area right there, crushing because there's that pocket of whatever it is. Like a kind of a crystal pocket. Oh, come on. The final series of beveling, I'll probably do it with a really nice little small tool. Get really fine serrations. And this hammerstone grinding that I'm doing is just removing those serrations that I just put on, and also creating a cleaner edge because it's removing microflakes. I'm gonna sharpen this tool just for a second. Okay, looking pretty good. Come on. That's that crap edge right there. Oh, oh God. I thought that car alarm was going to go on for a really long time. Oh, come on. That's not coming out right there. I was gonna make a Lost Lake on film because I can do pretty deep notches sometimes with punching. So I bought some hornstone from Joel, and 3 of the pieces that I've worked so far have just been full of cracks, like and then big giant piece in the middle like a lot of hornstone has. So that kind of sucks. I have some spalls from it though. Make little points from. This thing got dull really quick. Little bone flicker. Marty, if you're watching this, thank you so much for the little tools. Thank you in advance. Sometimes on the very tip you can undo a little bit of the beveling just to get a little bit pointier. Yes, very pointy. Okay, let's go wash it off. Grind the base first. Gotta be careful when you're grinding the base sometimes, because there have been quite a few times when I've created a point, been very happy about it, and I've gone to grind the ears of the base, Clovis point, and accidentally burinate a large portion of one of the ears off. I did that on a Dalton I made. It was a little, what was it? Hornstone Dalton. Looked really nice. I was very excited about it. And then I went to grind the ears, and I popped off one of the ears, and so I had to retouch it, do the base, do everything over again, and then it just didn't look as good. Okay, there's number 3. Bolen point number 3. Next one would be this one. So I'm gonna wash this off. Wash it off so you can't see any of the little errors. Little Bolen. That one's definitely much more corner notched. Let's look at the colors in there. There's a little crystal pocket right there. And then some of that stuff right there. That's what was giving me trouble. It's kind of that gray stuff. It's not exactly concrete, it's just harder rock. There's a little bit of red in there. Really pretty. I'll post the full grouping of the Bolens on my Instagram once they're all done, but get a little sneak peek on this one. I'm kind of really white, so it blends in with me really well. I'm glad my phone didn't die before I finished this. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope everyone has a better year than 2020. We get those vaccines rolled out. And get back to normal. Shabam.